Sara, and thank you so much for this opportunity to speak with you. And so Divine Tides, as Velu sir had explained, that it was an album that was created during the pandemic, and we recorded the songs. We recorded the songs remotely. Stuart Copeland in his studio, all of us at our studio over here in India. Hundreds of Zoom calls, hundreds of messages, hundreds of phone calls and remote recording sessions, and all of that later we had an album ready, and we got nominated for the Grammy Award last year in December, and and we had not even met each other in person. So that's basically how the world was during the pandemic. Collaborated for 1 year, we not even meet each other, and the first time I met him was actually about 12 days ago. That is 7 days before the Grammy. I met him in Nashville, where he had a concert. And we spent a lot of time in Nashville. Then we flew together to Los Angeles. We spent some time over there. Then after that, we spent some time in Las Vegas after that. And then we ended up winning the Grammy Award. And very lucky that Chandru could make it. And Chandru and me became very close friends during that time. We ate food in some really good restaurants. We went around Vegas. So it was good fun. I wish Velu sir was there, but then you did not get your visa on time. But yes, I wanted to talk a little bit about Larry itself. So Larry has always been very supportive towards my career because I do not do mainstream music, I do not do cinema music. So I released a song called Kaveri sometime back. It was a song which was dedicated to the river Kaveri, and it was a song in Kannada by lyrics by Mr. H.S. Venkatesh Murthy and sung by Pallavi. And I just told Velu sir that can you release the song, and he said fine. And no contracts were signed, nothing was signed, and he released it, and the song did really well. And then now with Divine Tides, I was discussing with Velu sir that that I'm doing this particular album. He's like, we have to do something with it, and they ended up releasing the videos. And again, I've signed record because I work internationally. I work in many countries, and I've signed recording contract deals in more than 40 countries all over the world. And this is the first time ever that I worked with a record company where there was nothing signed. Not a single paper was signed. Nothing was signed. No MOU also. No terms of a contract or an email. Nothing. It is just that whatever you want, we'll give you. That's all. And that's how it worked with Larry. So Larry has treated me as a family member, and I'm very, very grateful for that. That they saw some potential, and and they treated me just like a part of their family. And even this press conference and everything, that they've been very generous. Then I'd also like to acknowledge the musicians who are part of this album, because we have over 50 musicians from India, really, really renowned musicians. I'm sure that in the video you could recognize a lot of musicians from Karnataka, like Vari Jashri and Pramad Kiran and Arun Kumar, and all these musicians are musicians who travel with me everywhere, all over the world for my concerts. Like in 2019, we performed in more than 13 countries, did about almost 70 concerts in 1 year. Of course, during the pandemic, we hardly did any concerts. But nevertheless, very good musicians. And of course, we have Vanil over here. Vanil is sitting down. Vanil, can you just stand up once? So Vanil is a person who has been working with me for the last 15 years now. And so the first Grammy-winning album, that is Winds of Samsara, he was pretty much the right-hand person for that entire album, including the programming, the arrangements, my chief musical director. And same thing with Divine Tides. I didn't. Yeah. Let's go. Come. So same thing with Divine Tides. Vanil's from Mangalore, and I just wanted to acknowledge his presence and acknowledge his work, simply because there are a lot of people who talk about their work. A lot of people who do good work and they talk about their work, or some people who do very little work and they talk about their work, a lot. And and I've had this experience in the past, and it's not a bad thing, but I've had this experience in the past where people who are very little involved with my work and with my album, they try to showcase that they've done a lot of work on it, and you got what I'm saying, right, sir? So that's what they take a lot of credit. But there are people like Vanil who do a lot of work, but they never speak about it. So I would encourage the press that he is from Karnataka, he is from Mangalore. So I would encourage everybody to to speak to him after the session and and write about him and make sure that his contributions to these two Grammy-winning albums and a couple of other Grammy-nominated albums are are recognized. So again, very very grateful to all of you and Nimma Ashirwad Grammy Bandide. So thank you so much. Music. So I did, like for example, in Kannada, I did Jai He Kannada Thai. I did a song. Then I also did the Kaveri song. In fact, I did a song called Where Are My Rainbows, which was a song in Kannada, which was the first ever song sung at the United Nations headquarters in Geneva, which Vari Jashri had sung over there. So I do a lot of songs in Kannada, but not in the film industry, because I prefer to make music from the heart rather than what a director tells me to do,
But
or based on a script,
But accident was an
I did 3 movies. I did 3 movies, all 3 with Ramesh Arvind. So that's what I did. Accident, I did Venkata and Sankata and Crazy Kutumba, because I'm very close friends with Mr. Ramesh Arvind and I wanted to try it out. And I still talk to Mr. Ramesh Arvind very often. We both are very close friends and all of that stuff. But the thing is that I prefer making music which is based on which is based on my own beliefs and my own thoughts. I also did a series of 25 songs in Kannada which are for children, about sustainability, about the environment, and about social causes, which hopefully we are trying to get that into the textbooks in public schools in Karnataka. So hopefully we will get that done by next year. So it's educational songs for children which have been created by me. And these particular songs, it'll be a fun way to teach children about sustainability, about gender equality, about poverty, about water, about sanitation, about health, about climate change. So teaching children in a very, very fun and positive way.
Environment is how your first. Environment is your.
Yeah, environment has always been there. Like music and environment has been my thing. And also I'm an ambassador with the United Nations. So I work very closely with the United Nations, with various departments of theirs, to bring about changes when it comes to the environment. Yes, sir. So right now I'm going to be promoting this album. So because a lot of creative people, they make a mistake that as soon as they finish one project, they start working on another project, and then the promotions for the previous project goes away. In a concert, in a concert or in a recording? Both, yeah. So in this particular album, this Divine Tides, there were 150 musicians from all over the world, out of which 50 to 60 were from India. So that was that. When I do concerts all over the world, like you saw those concerts, 4 to 5 musicians always come from Bangalore. So there is if you know these musicians, there is Vari Jashri, there is Arun Kumar, there is Pramath, Sumarani, very important part of our troupe. And then we have Ravi Chandra Kulur. So we've got, who else am I missing out? Anyone? Chaitra also, Chaitra HG, she also joins us. So these people join us for our concerts, and then we have we take musicians from the West also, and we do a mix. And Manoj George also, violin player, yeah.
If you don't mind, how this Grammy Awards nomination and process goes?
So the thing is that there is something known as the Recording Academy in America. So they are the host, they are the ones who organize it. So every album released all over the world between one date to the other date, between usually it's September to September, is eligible to be in the Grammys. So that happens automatically. And then what happens is that they've got a jury which is, nobody knows how big the jury is, but they say that the jury is about between 15 to 20,000 people all over the world. So they have a jury, a fixed jury, and they keep shuffling it every year. And that jury votes for the awards.
There are 60 plus categories. 60.
Yeah, correct.
60 plus.
Correct, 60 plus categories, and the thing is that so these people vote for it. So that is how it's very difficult to find out who these people are. So that is how they keep it fair.
But in Oscar, you know who are all the juries are.
No, you don't.
No, there are 6,000 plus.
No, but you can find out like a few people, but you cannot get a list of.
That's
yeah, that's what. So in the Oscars also, it's very difficult. Yeah.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಸ್ಲಮ್ ಡಾಗ್ ಮಿಲಿಯನಿಯರ್ ಫಸ್ಟು ಈ ಗ್ರಾಮಿ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ತಗೊಂಡ ನಂತರ ಆಸ್ಕರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು.
Yes.
ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆ ಥರದ್ದು
No, but Slumdog Millionaire is a film. No?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is why. So it's a film. So that is why it can win an Oscar.
Yeah.
But mine is only album. So the highest award. And every country has got their own award. Like for example, India has got GMA Radio Mirchi Award. You have to be an Indian to win that award. Like South Africa has got Sama Award, where you have to be South African to win that award. Australia has got ARIA Award. You have to be Australian to win. Canada has got Juno Award. Grammy is the only award where anyone, anywhere in the world can win a Grammy Award. It's the only international music award in the whole world.
The top most.
Like the Olympics, you know, anybody anywhere in the world can win that award.
ದಟ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಸ್ಪೈಸಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್.
Which one?
ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಸ್ಪೈಸಿಸ್.
Yeah, the speech.
Yeah.
So that is also a very funny thing. So the 2 days or 3 days before the Grammys, they announced that everybody gets only 45 seconds to speak on stage. Number one, 45 seconds to speak on stage, and plus only one person can speak on stage. So if there are 2-3 people, only one person can speak. So for me, it was Stuart Copeland and me. Now Stuart Copeland, I'll give you an introduction. He's basically the greatest drummer in the history of music. That is what they've called him, greatest drummer in the history of music. He was part of the band The Police. He has already won 5 Grammy Awards, and he has sold 75 million albums copies. That is 750 lakh copies of his albums he sold. So he's like a very, very big person. So we decided that if one person has to speak, he has to speak, correct? Because also he's a 70-year-old person, very big experience, and I respect him so much. And if his name is called out, then the audience will expect him to speak. So they called out our name that we are the winners. We went up on stage, and I went on stage, I touched his feet on stage, and like, you know, out of respect. And then he started speaking, and he just spoke, you saw it, he spoke for like 10 seconds, and then he said that, like, you know, but this album is all about Ricky, and then he told Ricky, you speak, and he gives the mic, and he looks back to the director of the ceremony, and he tells the director that you're not going to switch off his mic. Because normally if 2 people speak, then they switch off the mic. So that is what, they'll do that, they'll just switch off the mic. So that is, because the rule is that only one person can speak. So that is good. But he spoke, and then he told the director that I dare you to switch off the mic. He told him, and then basically he allowed me to speak. So then I could speak my whatever I wanted to speak. Because nobody will not listen to him, no? Because he's got so much of respect.
So very soon.